Can you recertify this, please?
Yes, sir. Is there a motion to certify that only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting held by council?
As well as a motion to return to open session. You can put them all together.
I'll make the motion.
All right.
Second.
Mr. Allen? I so certify. Mr. Allen?
I so certify.
Mr. Lamb?
I so certify.
Mr. Surley?
I so certify.
Ms. Wilkerson?
I so certify.
Ms. Shea?
I so certify.
And the chair, I so certify.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we reconvene the meeting.
Second. Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Lamb? Mr. Surley?
Aye.
Ms. Wilkerson?
Aye.
Ms. Shea?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye also. The meeting is reconvened. Mr. Jim Cornwell will now give a presentation.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'm here to ask for guidance on issues relating to the wastewater agreement between the town and Westmoreland County dated November 25th, 2002. The matter was brought to my attention by the town manager and Ms. Gomez and relates to the capacity reservation fee specified in paragraph 11 of that agreement. Kathy, do you have that? I think you all have the agreement. I wanted to have it here for the public to see. If you look at the, if you look at the first part of the agreement was to allow wastewater service for the Washington District part of the county where there was failing septic systems and land that would not perk. The agreement was for the county to construct a collection system and send sewage from that area of the county to the town treatment system for treatment. If that happened, and the collection system was built by the county, and sewage is presently being sent to the town from properties in Westmoreland County. The county charges those persons in the county for its disposal costs, including the cost and debt service for the collection system, and the cost of paying the town for disposal of the town's wastewater system. In building the collection system, the county obtained a loan from Rural Utilities Service of the United States Department of Agriculture, and pursuant to paragraph 23, you show that paragraph. The agreement provided that it would be for the term of the agreement was for the expansion of that loan, which I understood to be 40 years. Plus, the next provision provides that it continues for 15 years thereafter. It continues thereafter until either party gives 15 years notice of termination. The contract is ongoing, continues to this day, and as you can see, it's for a rather lengthy period of time. The agreement, the county does pay the town the cost of treatment. Now, there is some dispute over whether the county is paying everything relating to the cost of treatment, including capital costs. And we'll get to that in a minute. But the provision I really want to discuss with council is paragraph 11 of the agreement. You can read that paragraph for yourself. But what it really says is that the county shall remit to the town a fee of $1,738,729 as a capacity reservation fee, which represents 30% of the present depreciated value of the town's treatment plant. The fee shall entitle, but not require, shall entitle the county to discharge into the disposal system a maximum daily flow of 600,000 gallons per day. The county has not paid all of that money, and that's where we are. According to Ms. Gomez, and I believe everything that I've seen that she is correct, the county has paid only a portion of the amount and owes the town $868,729 of the remaining balance in that amount. Plus, the agreement calls, in later paragraphs, calls for payment of capital costs related upon that usage figure. And they've only been paying the capital costs based upon what they're sending, not what the agreement provides as far as what they are entitled to send and what they purchased to send. We have approached the county informally about paying this amount, and the mayor and the town manager and I met with the chair of the board, the county administrator, and the county attorney. The county has declined to pay the remaining balance. The county takes a position that it is only using about half of the capacity it is paid for, and that the county administration and previous town managers have an understanding that the county will only pay for the capacity it uses in the system. However, I will bring to your attention paragraph 26 of the agreement, which says, this agreement constitutes the entire agreement between the parties hereto as to the transaction contemplated and supersedes all prior discussions, understandings, or agreements between the parties thereto. This agreement may not be modified or altered except by written instrument or agreement executed by the parties hereto. We can find no written agreement between town council and the board of supervisors to change paragraph 11 as to the amount of money that should have been paid for that capacity fee. So I'm here tonight to ask what action, since we have tried to resolve this informally, we've had informal discussions, and we have been told that they will not pay it. And they base their payment on failure to pay based upon some understanding between the town manager and the county administrator. But since we have this situation, we're at the point now where we need to decide, or you need to decide, what, if anything, the council wants to do about this unpaid balance that's been going for 17 years. I think, obviously, you can do nothing. And if the county wants more capacity, then it is paid for, collect the remaining balance then. You can seek to amend the agreement to reduce the capacity of the system to the amount already paid for by the county, so as to free up capacity in the system for other use. Or you can present this matter to the board of supervisors for payment, and should the board formally deny payment, then file an appeal with the circuit court to have the circuit court judge decide the issue as to whether the county owes that money plus money for capital costs that it is not paying. So I put it to you that I need some guidance.
I'd like to, should we discuss first or make a motion?
It's up to you.
I just want to reiterate a couple things that here. One about that they had a verbal agreement. Do I understand?
There was some written communications between the county administrator and the county administrator and the town manager to that extent. In fact, there's a letter that we received from the Freedom of Information Act request that basically says they're not going to pay anymore until basically they get more flow.
Right, and if I remember correctly, there was some document that was signed by the previous town manager as well. And the question I have is, since you have a town manager and another county administrator, all of you know that something like this is not a verbal, remedy by a verbal agreement from the town manager or the county administrator without authority of the town council.
Yes.
And it was never brought to a vote, from what I understand, of this town council, it was brought to attention. Right. So, I mean, at this point in time, I would make a motion that we pursue it with our full intent to recover the $800 and some thousand. I don't know what else to do, and I think the community is owed the money based on what I see here, based on your legal expertise as well, and see where it goes from there.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second your motion. I'll also request a call for vote.
Before we vote, we have to.
Mr. Mayor, I request a call for vote.
I think we have an opportunity for discussion, and I think the point needs to
No,
be.
sir. Mr. Mayor, I have called for the vote.
He has called for the vote.
Well, I don't think anybody needs, we haven't had any discussion.
There doesn't need to be any discussion. There's a motion and a second, and I have called for the vote, Mr. Serby.
Sergeant Arnold, are we allowed to have discussion once we put a motion on the table before it's demanded to go to vote? Mr. Mayor, who is our sergeant?
The council can overrule the motion and deny the motion for vote and then have discussion, but you have to vote on that.
I second the call for the vote.
Okay, Mr. Elkins.
Aye.
Mr. Knight.
Aye.
Mr. Lehman.
Aye.
Mr. Surley.
Aye.
Ms. Robertson.
Abstain.
Can you just give a quick reason why?
For those who are in the audience, and don't know that my husband is on board.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson. Ms. Shea.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you.
I have not so much a request, but I want to inform you, this will, of course, resolve litigation. I'm a one-man shop. I have talked to another attorney about assisting me, but that is appropriate. Hourly rate is the same. So, just 2 minutes. Thank you. We will proceed.
We've already voted.
Yeah. Okay.
It's my understanding you voted on the move to request to remove the vote, but you did not bring the vote up.
I think we did.
I believe you did, but to clarify any
Okay, we can
issue,
do it, we can certainly.
make a motion to authorize, I would like a motion to authorize me to file a claim against the county and to litigate this matter against the county if necessary.
So moved.
We're up. Second.
Okay, so there's a motion to authorize Mr. Cornwell to pursue the town's best interest in this sewer case against Westmoreland County. Mr. Knight.
Aye.
Mr. Lane. Mr. Surley.
Nay, no discussion, and this is out of turn, this should be happening with some of these conversations should have been happening in closed session, not out here.
That's why I call for the vote, Mr. Surley.
Ms. Robertson.
I'm not talking about that specific
Ms.
conversation.
Shea.
Aye.
Y'all just don't know what you're doing.
The chair votes aye. Mr. Surley, you're out of line.
Absolutely, you believe in,
Okay.
same to be in the future too, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cornwell. Back to business, unfinished business. Ordinance number 697, amends town code. Have we not voted on this?
I thought we voted.
So we saved them all for one fell swoop? Okay. All right, so we need to, why don't we do should we do the public hearing first then? On that one, right? Okay. So would your preference be to do the public hearing on?
No, we have to do it in order.
Okay, all right. We'll start with these. This was done, what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago? Ordinance number 697 amends the Town Code, Chapter 21, Article 6, Section 21-71, water user charges, residential service. That public hearing was held on June 19th. At this point in time, is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We can have discussion again, but I don't know why, we discussed this at length. No discussion, we'll take it to vote then. Mr. Alger?
Aye.
Mr. Aye?
Aye.
Mr. Lane?
Aye.
Mr. Survey?
Nay.
Ms. Robertson?
Aye.
And Ms. Shea?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay. Ordinance number 698, amends Town Code, Chapter 21, Article 6, Section 21-8, sewer user charges, residential service, public hearing held June 19, 2019. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? And is this one blank? Mr. Alger?
Aye.
Mr. Aye?
Aye.
Mr. Lehman?
Aye.
Mr. Survey?
Yay.
Ms. Robertson?
Aye.
Ms. Shea?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Both those motions passed. All right, now the new business. Public hearing, we're open the public hearing for ordinance number 699, which amends Town Code, Chapter 21, Article 6, Section 21-71, water user charges for commercial services. So this is basically what we've done with the private in your homes. We're now amending to the commercial businesses as well. Is there a motion to approve? Or, no, excuse me, is there anybody who signed up to speak for that? Yes, Mr. Christensen. Get public hearings officially over. Mr. Christensen, thank you.
Yes. I'm just a little bit confused about the difference between, and I just hope that everybody here can be made to understand what the difference between. I'm pretty sure I'm in favor of the motion, but I just want to take this opportunity to say that why I'm in favor of the motion is because it's bringing the costs where they should be to the user. And I'm concerned that even though we've had water meters put in all over our homes and in some cases in the middle of our yard, we're still not using the meters. And I know it's going to increase my bill because I probably use more water than other people. But I think that's fair, and that's where we should be heading. And now that I see that we are metering the commercial but not the residential users, I'm hoping that this is just a temporary thing, and that by next year we will be also metering the residential users. That's pretty much what I wanted to get straightened out.
Thank you. Real quick, I'd just like to say that you may not have been here. We had a real lengthy meeting with the consulting firm who came in and did all their study and numbers and explained why this even has to happen, and the increase in costs to pay for maintaining a 20% overage, so that down the road we're not so far behind that we're out borrowing millions of dollars, but at least hopefully we'll have some monies to fix problems as they arise, kind of thing. And the fact, we also, I think part of it's already in the budget. Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to explain to the rest of the people as well who may not have been here. So, it was,
So the difference between what we just passed and what we're voting on now is a difference in cost?
The difference is the residential language was advertised before without advertising also the language in the commercial section of the code, and we should have advertised them both together as an increase at the same time. But because they were advertised separately, we have to now vote on them separately. Commercial users have been metered in Colonial Beach for many, many years. This is not a new thing for the metering for commercial, it's just their rate is increasing at the same amount that we also increase the residential rate. And unfortunately, we have to do it in two separate instead of one fell swoop.
Thank you.
One question. You have on the residential meters, we're going to be requiring a minimum usage. Is that going to be duplicated in the commercial? We've never had a minimum usage on the commercial meter, and yet we're going to apply that to the new residential meter. So is that going to also?
Yeah, we do. The first 15,000
Is it in place now on that?
It is,
Okay.
yeah.
I think one of the other questions was when are we going to start metering? I think Mr. Donahue had said it's going to be like a year or two down the road because we've got to collect all the data, analyze it, and then figure out what the rates should be. So it's not like we're going to next year go to metered systems because we have to analyze all the information.
that would be,
Yeah, when Mr. Donahue, if memory serves correct, he would like to see a year's worth of data. Now, in terms of how long it takes him to analyze it, I'm unaware. We are a seasonal tourist town, so it would behoove us to get through that cycle at least once. And also just to see the general usage. And I'd like to point out that Mr. Donahue also reaffirmed to us that he will make sure that we have tools, mechanisms, and material to educate the public as we move forward.
If I remember correctly, too, I think he said the earliest we should do would be probably 2021.
That is true.
okay, that's it for that. Public hearing's closed. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 699?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Flynn?
Aye.
Mr. Surley? Ms. Roberson?
Aye.
Ms. Shea?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Next one is ordinance number 700, amends Town Code, Chapter 21, Article 6, Section 21-A, sewer user rates, commercial services. Public hearing is open for that. No one signed up. Anybody have any audience? Feel like they want to speak on that? No? Public hearing is closed. With that, is there a motion to approve ordinance number 700?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion?
I have a discussion point, and I know all these go together, and I know they'll all get approved. I just want to make it a part of the record that it is, in my opinion, that this needs to be evaluated annually, that this rate change is a leap, and it's concerning to me, although I do think it's in the best financial responsibility for us to approve this, but it pains me to do it, and that as we review the budget each year, if these rates need to increase in pennies, then we should be doing that at that time instead of waiting for it to add up to tens and $20 increments on quarterly payments. And so I just need that to be a part of the record, that I feel that way about it, and that it will be an important part of adjusting our budget process for next year, and especially as we introduce a new CFO, that you'll help us be diligent about staying on top of this. And I would be happy to approve a 2-cent increase if we need to do that, if that's what it takes to not get to the point where we're approving.
I think that was recommended by that.
It was.
Being
Sort of,
a 3% increase.
just want it in the record.
And I've got a comment as well, that I think that we have to be willing to work on trying to get our costs in control for water and sewer as well. And if there's an opportunity to reduce the rate, we in turn have to look at that. So far, all we do is just stamp, this is what it costs us, right, wrong, or indifferent, and here it is. So we have to be able to look at it in more than one perspective.
I understand that if there's potential that the more users we have, there's potential to lower the cost per user.
Well, it's also the efficiency of how we actually perform our
So
operations.
hopefully the town continues to grow and we get some luck and build out some of the properties in town and maybe that cost of it is. Okay, so.
The one question, just a little bit on top of it, now that we've got the meters installed, the biggest thing, what forced us to do this was that we could not get any more DHCD funding until we went online with metering. Even though we're not billing by metering yet, the fact that we have the meters in place, does that pull that moratorium off of us now, where we can go back to DHC now, or do we have to be actually billing and metering? Because that's what this whole thing was about.
Right, that's a good question. I know that we were on probation
Right.
for a period of time. We couldn't get good rates to borrow money. We couldn't do anything on this. And then they told us that if we wanted to go to borrow money, we had to put the meters in,
What's the
follow other things. And I would think that over a period of time, once we meet and have numbers to vet out that we're doing what we're supposed to do, I would hope that.
Well, I'm wondering if it's worth the potential to approach them and say, okay, this is where we are in the process. Now we have to go through the sampling and so on and so forth. But is this, where along the lines can we start getting some reprieve from, the moratorium that's been put
If I'm
on?
not mistaken, they contact you on a regular basis to make sure we're up
And
to speed.
as far as the ability to get more loans, the implementation as directed, I just don't see the challenge, but certainly contact them at finalization, we'll be talking to them during finalization of all the projects.
Okay.
But that's not talking about grant funds. Grant funds, the reason we did not get grant funds was because
That's my point.
So it's called for a vote on ordinance number 700. Okay, and a motion to approve, wait, okay, Mr. Dodd.
Aye.
Mr. Knight.
Aye.
Mr. Lehman.
Aye.
Mr. Sullivan. Ms. Rhodes. Ms. Shea.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Resolution number 35-19 authorizes the town manager to sign and submit a grant application to the Virginia Land Conservation Foundation. That's a tad easy. So, as you guys know, I submitted some questions about this from the work session. I think they were answered from the Friends of Elmer Park. I think they got some feedback from their lawyers, and of course we've got feedback from our lawyer as well. I don't know that we've answered, I don't know if we have come to a collective agreement on whether or not it requires a supermajority, but our council thinks that it does. And did your council ever make that determination?
Our council thinks it does not.
Okay. So, all right, we'll go back in a slight impasse then.
I'm sorry, I saw that email chain, but I wanted clarification from Jim on it because it made me confused actually. And so the question, I just want to restate the question so that I understand the question, is, and I know you have given us the language, that exact language in a previous presentation. I don't have it in front of me.
I have it.
You have it? Okay.
Want to read it?
Yeah.
It's under 15.2, 2100, paragraph A. No rights of a city or town into its waterfront, wall property, public landings, walls, docks, streets, avenues, parks, bridges, or other public places, or its gas, water, or electric works, shall be sold except by ordinance passed by recorded affirmative vote of 3/4 of all the members elected to council, notwithstanding any contrary provision of law, general or special, and under such other restrictions as may be imposed by law.
Okay. I agree with our council then.
And you state your position on it.
Well-
You said it under your breath there, but your position is that we do have to do a supermajority.
You do.
That would be
And-
my
and when you look at the material which Eric sent us, which I appreciate, clearly there's going to have to be a conservation easement executed by the town to some holder, probably the Virginia Outdoor Foundation. Okay?
Or
And
us.
We can create our own.
you can create your own, yes, you can. I did that.
We
my-
can't.
I-
The land trust has been created.
You know, Lancaster County created one.
Yes.
You can create one. But still, no matter how we get to it, it does limit your use of property.
Absolutely, that's the whole reason.
Right, and
Put
so
it
you
in
are
the
selling
conservation
rights.
easement.
So I agree completely.
You're selling a right away to the property.
That's correct,
And-
and that's what we're getting the money for.
Under the required match of the program, on page 12, property used as a match must have been acquired within 2 years prior to the commencement of the current grant plan. So I'm not even sure. Plus, in dealing with conservation easements in other localities, I'm aware that many of these, you could do it because we did it in Lancaster, because many of these programs, like the Virginia Outdoor Foundation, will not take small parcels of real estate. And that's why we created one in Lancaster County, where people who wanted to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 acres could do that. But in any way you cut it, no matter who's the holder, no matter what, you're going to give up rights to use property. And in fact, the proposed conditions that were sent, no commercial residential development is permitted. You give up your right to do that. Subdivision is possible to no more than 2 parcels. You gave your right to subdivide it as a subdivision ordinance will allow you to. Full compliance with Chesapeake Bay Act, and I don't have a problem with that, because you already have that restriction on your rights. And adherence to the current plan, I have no problem with that. Adherence to planning commission recommendations regarding Elmore Park is required, whereas as you all know, planning commission recommendations are requirements, so you give your right to that. No recreation facilities may be developed requiring impervious pavement, such as basketball, tennis, running tracks. I mean, if you go down the list, you will see that you're giving up your right to use the property as you deem appropriate. No permanent fully enclosed buildings, So I think it's clear from the statute that you are giving up rights to this property, and therefore selling the majority of the property. And if, and I'm not asking for this knowledge, but if there are at least two members of council who are not in favor of giving up rights to this property, why even make the application? Make three of them use the application.
I think it's very important to understand, what it is we're giving up. I'm sure and we all know there's certain aspects of this that we have a problem with giving up, but it's very important to understand we can't put a basketball court on it. We can't do it at any impervious whatsoever. Those are the things that are very important. The idea was to try to maintain this for green space and more public use and so forth. But we just make sure everybody realizes the parameters that we're setting on it, even for public use.
Can I make a comment on that? Because I drafted that, but I drafted that as a straw man for you guys to look at. I was not trying to set in concrete necessarily, but when I met with the town manager and asked him what the town's thoughts were about the term sheet, which is what you guys are referring to, he said that I should prepare something so that you guys could look at it and make comments.
But that's what's in front of us right now, we're talking about going to a vote on it, so I just want to make sure everybody realizes.
Well,
that if
that's
we vote
not in the
against-
resolution.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, those terms aren't part of the resolution. We're not voting on those terms.
And could I just make a couple of other points? One is that we do expect or want or think that it's appropriate that the town hold the easement and not the Virginia Outdoors Foundation. In fact, the Virginia Outdoors Foundation has not been easy to interact with about this particular issue, probably because it is too small of a property. We have received a letter from the Virginia Land Trust, and they have offered to hold it if we want them to, but in interacting with the VLCF, the Virginia Land and Conservation Foundation, they've said that it's more appropriate for the town to hold the easement, so the town would hold the easement. One other final comment that was our attorney's reaction was that it's sort of, when you sell something, there needs to be somebody on the other side to buy it. I don't think that his viewpoint was that just giving something up does not imply a sale. It has to have somebody to purchase it on the other side. And if there's nobody to purchase it, then is it really a sale?
You're certainly giving up rights, and page 13, under VLCF property, protect your lands. A public body seeking to use VLCF funds to protect lands will be required to include language in the fee simple deed or in the easement deed that states that property will be taken under the authority of the Open Space Land Act, and the protection is perpetual in nature.
We're still selling rights to the trust, even if we own the trust, the land trust. So, yeah, I still have to agree with our town attorney.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean I'm not going to vote yes for it. I just wanted to.
I just want to make sure everyone understands how it happens. And the other thing, this is in perpetuity, you cannot undo it.
Correct.
You may be able to undo it on the court action, but
Well, like I said, it's theoretically, it is in perpetuity, and we know what we've all been through on Eleanor Park in the past. And so it's basically, this is it.
Thank God.
I have to say, I'm a little bit confused because last year we were at a place where the town did sign an authorization. There was a resolution similar to this where the town did go forward with the possibility of a conservation easement through the Virginia Outdoors Foundation. So what's happening now is that we're proposing something quite similar.
I still think we should vote on it. I'm just.
No, I understand. I'm just, yeah, well, okay. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to like put it in perspective.
Right, and I think you're right on that, and I remember that our lawyer contacted VOF, and she was told at that point in time that the property was too small for them to actually deal with, and then we set up a couple meetings, and the representative from VOF at the last minute declined to come to the meeting for whatever reason, and so we did go through all that. And then since then, we've kind of pushed it to the side and have been waiting for an opportunity to see some ideas thrown around what could be done with the property if it wasn't built residential R2 like it was zoned for. And I think there's a couple of drawings that were done, kind of thrown around out there, some exercise equipment, things like that, that you said recently.
How much?
My concern was the language. Was it a public space? Was it a park? Or was it town and land?
I think
And
both, I
that
think
was
both attorneys agree it's public space.
Yeah, all property owned by any locality is public property, but that doesn't mean that a locality can't restrict its use, as any other property owner can. And to a certain extent, it doesn't matter what you call it.
Yeah.
I have a house, I call the kitchen because it's got a dishwasher and a stove and,
Yeah.
somebody cooking in there beside me. I have a bedroom, I call it a bedroom because I got a bed. So you can call this a park, you can call it playground, you can call it whatever you want, but usually the name is associated with what you're going to do there.
So my,
But you can call it a landfill like Virginia Beach did, and then change it into a park, Mount Trashmore.
yeah.
So,
My question is, Jim, is we have parcels of land that are town and land that are for sale in that, okay? And they don't require a three-quarters vote to be sold. Okay, but they are worth money, and boardwalk.
so we'll,
I think we should tackle those when we get to
Well, I
that.
don't agree with what you just said.
I don't know if I agree with that either. I think they do
I
require,
agree.
I think so too. But regardless, what the town needs, in my opinion, what the town needs to do right away is have rules and regulations for the use of this public property.
agreed.
Whatever those rules and regulations are, and they can be different for
We agree.
each property, but you need rules and regulations, even if the rule is no trespassing, you gotta have a rule and regulation to control your property, and maybe scheduling issues, because if the town property, which is Elmore Trail Park, wants to be used on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock by 20 people for this, and 20 other people want to use it for that, that's gonna pose some issues. You gotta have some scheduling, you gotta have rules and regulations.
So you gotta enforce it.
Yes,
We need a Parks and Rec department.
right. They can propose rules and regulations. And you got rules already in the, on the beach. You can just cut and paste, or you can go to another jurisdiction and get them. But we need rules and regulations for all, and the school board has rules and regulations.
Well, we have a lot of rules and regulations on certain town properties. We do have. We just don't have it necessarily as a blanket, I guess, for all. We've got stuff posted all over the beaches.
Yeah, 25 more, and some of the permits.
I've been walking your dog after 9 o'clock, no bikes on the boardwalk, all kinds of stuff.
You need those boards, you need that for all.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So, okay, let's take some to the big question. It seems like, at least from my perspective, this is premature, but.
I think we have to vote on it if they are going to apply for it.
Right, and, this, of course, this,
Not
if we get it, the town doesn't have to accept it.
That was the point we made in the work session. This just keeps it going, but we don't have to sign it.
Right, and so I don't even know in this particular situation, it's not even the sale or the reduction of a right. If this vote would require a supermajority, because it's not the vote of actually accepting the grant.
I still think with those stipulations, giving up the, kind of where Steve was going, giving up the rights to be able to do a lot of this. You even mentioned something about exercise equipment.
But we're not giving that up today. That's the thing I was trying to clarify.
And those stipulations were things Eric came up with on a piece of paper.
They
Those
were
are
samples.
not stipulations in the grant, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
I just did something that you guys could look at.
Right. In fact, we're not agreeing to any of that today. We're only allowing them to go through the grant.
We would reach out.
But we do have to have we do have to include a term sheet in it, so sometime in the next few days or week, we have to come up with some language that is comfortable to,
As far as some stipulations of use.
yeah, because
Well, that's right. We should have had that 2 months ago. We can't work that out until.
The grant didn't open until July 10th.
I mean, with that in mind, I don't agree.
July what, Cam? Ken? I don't see why, I don't know, though we've talked about all those stipulations. The only one I have a problem with is the impervious coverage, as long as we're,
We haven't talked about any of the stipulations prior,
Well,
previously, no.
the reason why I put the issues about the impervious cover was I was just trying to, it is in the floodplain, I was just trying to
It doesn't
That
matter, you
doesn't
can still do
matter.
impervious in a floodplain.
Yeah, you can.
I know
do
you
parking
can,
lot.
I know you can, but it makes it more complicated. But I'm not trying to dictate what, I mean, these are, just came up out of here, it was not something that
We're gonna vote on
was
those
given to me
lots
by,
into those.
I mean, I know some of it's, I missed the work session, I missed some of that dialect. I think there was more specific to this.
I came out of the road standards, understanding all we were doing was approving to go forward with the, but we weren't gonna have the specific stipulations put on us until we had an absolute, an agreement turned back to us after the grant was approved. And that's what I understood in the work session.
If you put these stipulations on the agreement, is that,
Is it
so that's something
negotiable?
you just turn in?
Or you commit to
Yeah,
Is that-
I mean, that sounds like
can
a
that be
no to these
modified?
stipulations.
it. It's a commitment.
do you know if that can be modified?
I don't know, it just says this has to be included.
We could probably make it vague. I mean, I don't know that, the objective of the LCF is to keep it a recreational place and not to allow for commercial construction, commercial building. So,
Or residential building, or
Yeah.
any building, but
right.
for use, I mean, it could keep us from putting a mounting block in for
Well,
exercise.
then let's just have some vague term. I mean, I don't know. I don't. The term sheet was not intended to cause this much stress.
I feel like the term sheet is though, is kind of what the terms were about to do with the facility. I mean,
Yeah, I think the term sheet there needs to be as minimal as possible.
All right.
I
How about
mean-
well, then why don't you ask the town manager and I to work something
That's
out,
not the term sheet.
or somebody, or a representative on council.
Standpoint, can it be so vague as to just, the terms are that it won't be residential building? Because I don't want to say that it's not to be commercial, because if you put a pool somehow, an in-ground community pool, that would be considered residential, especially if it has a snack bar and parking or anything like that. Because right now, we don't know what the community wants. I would suggest that at some point in time, we find out exactly what the community wants.
I agree with you completely. In fact, that's been my whole process all along. Let's do the minimal amount to the park now and see what the community wants. See how it evolves.
But a lot of times, these conservation trusts have stipulations that you gotta go to a minimum, so do we know what the minimum is?
The minimum what? The minimum development?
Minimum development, minimum requirements, before you
They've
can
not-
decide where you gotta agree to not
You
do
know,
this. There's gotta be something.
They have not given any real specifics about that, so we need to come up with them.
Well, just my experience in going, and I've done a few of them as well, is the actual grant or the association that you're going to has minimum requirements.
Well, the minimum requirements are basically as very vague.
Well, that could be to our advantage.
But to me, confirm that, I'm not comfortable with I know, because we didn't realize in
Do
the
you have a
planning
copy of
commission, we
the
were gonna be
terms?
stuck with these terms.
Because they're not in our packet.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy
The
of the
term
terms?
sheet? The
Yes.
term sheet?
The term sheet.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we all agreed that we wanted to go forward with the application, but we did not realize at that time that we were gonna be stuck with these parameters.
Well, clearly, if you're going to put property into a conservation easement, you have to list the things you are not going to do with it that would affect.
Well, that's why I think some of these things we have discussed, because when you say a conservation easement, we assume there are some of these things.
Well, what we came out of the planning commission, our planning meeting understanding was that we were applying for this, and we all agreed with that, but the stipulations, we had the opportunity to review and evaluate before we signed off on the final acceptance. That's what I.
Well, I don't think I do have them. I thought, well, no. But we can keep it vague.
This is their, this is his.
I know, that's what I want to say.
This is not the terms from the organization.
that's what Eric tried.
That's their extract.
Right, I understand that. He's saying that the application requires that terms be given with the application.
Right.
So he drafted these, yep. We come up with the terms ourselves.
Well, they have to have a set of terms too.
Uh,
I would imagine anybody's gonna run, that's gonna buy something, is gonna have a set of terms that you can't.
Absolutely. They got-
all right, let me tell you what it's,
That might be the return on money.
I'm sorry.
Then that, my understanding is that very well might be, and if they were to offer us the grant, but then put a stipulation on it that the town didn't agree with, then we could say no.
That's kind of what we thought we were doing when we came out of work session, but now I'm hearing something different.
I guess my fear as well is if we're fortunate enough to get the grant, which I know with the people that are involved, we probably will, and then we decide we're not gonna take it, what happens then? I mean, does that kind of nix our future grant obtaining abilities? Because I know in the past that has happened, and they weren't real pleased with the way we dealt with that.
I know they told us that other groups had not been able to complete their project within a certain amount of time, and they were able to give the money back, but that did not stop them from reapplying in the future. The problem we're up against with this particular grant is they're only interested in trying to save property that was up for sale in the last 18 months.
Okay.
So this is our only chance to go after this grant because we meet that criteria. And the announcement came out July 10th. We went to a workshop
I know.
2 weeks later.
He knows.
I mean, we're doing the best we can to pull this.
can I
And
read?
I'll be honest, it's a long shot. Like everything else, it depends on who we're up against. But they require 40% of the money that they have in this fund has to go to parks and open space.
This is what the grant application document says. The applicant must provide the conditions or restrictions to be included in any proposed conservation or open space easement. This includes but is not limited to the number of division rights to be retained, amount of development permitted, riparian buffer requirements, historic resource protections, preservation of forest acreage, any allowed or disallowed land use or land management practice or other easement. A draft deed of easement is, or term sheet will satisfy this requirement. So that's very vague.
I mean, I think just the first three on your draft and nothing else. If we just stick to those three terms.
Could you read those? Because I don't have that in front of
The
me.
first three, the first is no commercial or residential development is permitted. Subdivision is possible into no more than 2 parcels in full compliance with the relevant aspects of the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act, including riparian buffer requirements, tree removal, stormwater management.
That takes away an option for the pool, isn't it, Eddie Moore? That really locks us down to
Why?
very minimal.
Because of,
Commercial and residential. You can't
Not
have,
so much residential, actually.
the pools you said was residential, but the snack stand would be considered commercial.
Commercial pool.
Commercial pool.
none of that would be residential, yeah, it would just be commercial.
That's my concern.
I don't know, I think, it sounds like from the grant though, that they require that you can't do commercial or residential development from that paragraph you just read.
The number of division rights to be retained, amount of development permitted, I mean, it says.
Amount of development.
Amount.
Oh, so it could say only public commercial development
Okay.
is permitted.
Okay,
Only public commercial development is permitted.
Will that meet it? You can just get
I don't know, because the conservation easements that I've been involved with, and I was involved with probably 1 month in Floyd County, it's always a property owner who is seeking to put his property into the conservation easement. And they provided a whole 3 pages of prohibitions and division rights and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
It was easy because it was all for agricultural.
And the planning commission had to sign off on them, and then it went through because it was a property owner who was doing it, in putting it into the Virginia Outdoor Foundation or some other entity like that.
And it wasn't a purchase either. There wasn't money.
They weren't selling the property, but they were limited their right to use it.
And it's basically,
We can leave in the planning commission stuff, but that doesn't sound like it's a requirement of the grant, so that's
No,
why I
no,
just
I
said,
was-
we're gonna
I was only thinking
minimalize
that
it.
it would be good to have what the planning, it would be good for the planning commission input to be included in the deliberations about that.
I'm just making it as minimal as possible.
That's fine. You know, I'm only doing, I only did this because I was suggested by Quinn to do it.
When Eric and I met, I was trying to explain that all we do is we do the administration and implementation. The citizens and the council determine what the park is, but the council would probably enjoy having an idea of what this conservation easement's going to entail. And you guys also probably would want to look at the plan information itself, although Eric didn't warn it was rather lengthy, and it is. I did my best attempt to get through it, and it was lengthy.
It's good nighttime before bedtime reading.
Unfortunately, that's where it gets us to where we are now.
But Ms. Schick, I'm sure that your suggestions would satisfy. I mean, we were not trying to create anything specific. We were just trying to be responsive to the grant requirement and to the town manager.
I understand.
I think unfortunately, nothing specific is what the grant is asking. So once we go by those stipulations, that's what we have to stick to. So we need to have stipulations that we're ready to.
Okay, so what about what Ms. Schick just read?
Just keeping those 3 stipulations.
And public and
Only
change
public commercial development is permitted, subdivision is possible into no more than 2 parcels, in full compliance with the Chesapeake Bay Act.
And it does go into some length in another paragraph about the riparian buffers and so forth.
That's in that part of the
Yeah,
Bay Act.
yeah.
You said that you would have to question about the public commercial build. What was it you said about that? You said you didn't know if that was still going to be allowed? Depending on what we wanted to build on it, you said something a second ago about.
I don't remember, but I guess my point is that if you are going to submit this grant application with those conditions, it is going to require a supermajority to approve it if the grant is offered, because you will be conveying property, and you will be bound by the terms of it.
Is the supermajority for the application to be turned in, or for the acceptance of the grant?
For the conveyance of property into the trust.
So
today we are basically committing to the minimum requirements of the grant. Now, I guess my concern,
No.
if I could just,
Not if you don't.
if I could, please, I appreciate all the effort y'all put into this. We set this piece of property aside for the use of the town, okay? And I agree we need to get grant money to be able to develop this into a use for the people of the town to use it to. But we haven't even defined what that is yet. And we're talking about tonight now putting stipulations possibly, because nobody seems to know, on the use of this in order to get jammed into a corner so that we can get a grant.
You know what, can I tell you something?
Let me finish here. Now, we did not understand all this in the work session. And no, I don't want to delay this, and I wanted to go forward with this grant. But it sounds like to me we do not have our ducks in a row here, and I'm afraid that we're going to put ourselves into a situation where we have somewhat obligated ourselves by applying for a grant, and Jim, you're nodding yes over there, that we've obligated ourselves intentions to put this thing into a conservation easement, which is very different than public usage.
My concern is threefold, or twofold. One, you're applying for a grant to put the property, to restrict your right to use property. And you tell them that when you file your application for that, you're putting in their restrictions on your use, okay? I don't know whether you'll get the grant or not. I have no idea. But if the grant were to be awarded to you, I think there may be an expectation, if nothing else, that you will accept the grant and convey the property. And if, as I said at the beginning, if 2 members of council, in my opinion, 2 members of council are opposed to going forward, conveying the property, conveying anybody rights in the property, there's no sense in making the application no matter what the conditions are.
I'm all for a grant. I'm all for pursuing these things, but we have to have a better understanding up front as to what our use is and what our stipulations are, on these grants before we can pick the right one that fits our needs for the park. And I don't know that
We just don't get a lot of opportunities like this.
I know that, Robin, but it's like everything else.
And you know, frankly, can I make a comment? Frankly, we have been told that we have not, the Friends of Eleanor Park has not followed up and done the things that the due diligence would. We've been told that the town needs to make money off of this property. We've been told that we need to be more active, and we have been trying to be more active, and I feel like now you're acting like we're trying to put you into a corner. I feel like we're just trying to bring you an opportunity.
I can support the process moving forward under the terms that, I don't like the language in any of that. I wish we had done something more for the town.
What about if Robin and I get together? She's very,
you know, you two getting together isn't going to solve everything, because there's 7 of us up here who have intentions and feelings, and we represent the entire town. And this is still a ticklish thing. You know, there's a lot of people who don't want this thing put into an easement, okay, in the town. They want to see us do something with it for them, okay? And I'm listening to Jim over here saying that if we vote tonight to go forward with this, in a sense, we have committed ourselves to, in a sense, accepting what they offer us back, intention-wise at least. Granted, we can walk away from it, but what do? Ruin our reputation for grants.
This isn't a bad offer though. And also, the word easement does not mean that we cannot develop this into a usable public facility.
right.
That I want to make sure of. Things like Sneed's Farm on Route 17, I don't know if you've ever been to it, you know, pumpkin picking. That is an easement. That is held by a land trust, by the conservation. They received grant money to give rights up to that property. And yet it runs as a commercial. They have 2 on that property, 2 different ones in lots of stipulations, and they still are able to function and do lots of things there.
And we're all sitting here with nothing.
I'm just saying it doesn't always limit as much as for your state. Can I finish? Because you have really taken the stage tonight.
Yeah, because I don't think we are prepared.
And let me finish.
Talk about taking.
Yeah.
Mr. Sir, let me finish, please.
This is a rare opportunity. This may not come again. We have missed other opportunities on this. We've been talking about it for 10 years plus. I don't want to limit this. I do think that this draft term sheet is concerning to me, and that we should minimize it so that we have the most opportunity to do the most with it. And as long as that is the intention and is what is going to be followed through on, I'd like to vote on it. And then I'd like to move on.
Okay, I mean, I will commit to making it as minimalistic. I mean, we can delete most of the stuff there. We can just have no residential development.
I don't want the property to sit empty. That's what I don't want.
You know, we are.
Yeah.
I'll speak real quick. I don't want the property to sit empty, okay? We fought the big fight on putting houses there. We've had people occupy and turn away with a huge amount of embarrassment for a lot of us, needless to say. But I don't want it to sit empty. I want it to be used at its most fullest capacity by as many people as this community as possible, right? I'm still, you know how I stand. I personally don't want to spend another nickel on the point for recreation, because there's nothing on the north end of this town. Nothing. Not a basketball goal, nothing up there. There's a golf cart path. That's it. And yet, if you were to take a census of where the kids live, I promise you, at least 65% of them on the north side of this town, and they have nothing. So unless they come to Torrey Smith or Robin Grove or Castlewood, not a park up there. So
you can take the money and use it for that purpose.
So I don't want it to sit empty. I will vote to have this move forward. But I will tell you, I promise you this: I will vote against anything that falls into some of these categories in here. And
well, tell me what they are. I mean, just tell me what the categories are.
We need to vote. I'm sorry, Eric. You've had enough time up there. We have discussed this.
Fine.
Is Is this the portion of the supermajority? That is not.
No.
This is just to let
This
them
is to move
continue.
forward with the application. and
Yes,
then the
correct.
supermajority.
With the intent that we will sign if it's approved.
Doesn't have
No, it
intent.
doesn't
The word
state that.
intent is not in this.
I understand, but that's what Jim explained, that if we go forward with this, it's because we intend to go forward with and sign this.
Well, we'll only
And we can
sign
put our
what
reputation
we agree on.
brings.
We'll only sign what 6 of the 7 people as council agree on.
Still, but
But
I just, I think.
I don't care what we do, I just don't want that property to sit empty.
I
That's
agree.
what I don't. So, we're gonna move it to a vote then. We have a motion, we got a second, no, we haven't had a motion. Is there a motion to approve, resolution 35-19, which authorizes the town manager to sign and submit a grant application to the Virginia Land Conservation Foundation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. I.
Nay.
Mr. Lehman?
Aye.
Mr. Surley?
Nay.
Ms. Rogers?
Nay.
Mr. Shea?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay. It failed.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
It's passed, sorry, majority, not super.
That's right. So it passed. Sorry, my bad. I'm confused.
I just hope that we get a real good
Yeah.
package brought back to us, if in fact we get the opportunity, we get a very clear understanding, and we have some thought process put into what we may do with this property before we are forced to sign off and vote on a grant, proving the actual grant, if it's, potentially awarded to us.
Okay.
It seems to never do that.
Do I understand that the motion included just the 3 things that Schick read out?
It included the minimum necessary to meet the grant requirements on
I'm not
the
specifying.
term sheet.
You're not specifying what they are?
The
Because
first,
the grant, they're gonna go in with the grant application that the town managers will sign off on, whatever they are.
the least,
Yeah, that's not very well.
not,
Not that.
with the least amount of terms.
Let me say this to you. Don't bring this back as the terms.
Absolutely
Okay?
not.
But I'm confused because you've authorized the town manager to file
So what are you
the
gonna-
grant application.
Yeah.
The grant application has to have the terms in it. What are the terms that are gonna be in the grant?
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you just read the terms from the...
No.
The requirements of the grant.
Yeah,
Right.
right?
But Robin read those 3 terms, about the 3 terms you want in the application.
Nope.
My point was the most minimal
How about if I just
amount.
repeat back what the grant application requests? And with the one thing about, they've asked for how many divisions, so what about if we use that one? And otherwise, just sort of repeat back what the grant
Yes,
application
just
says.
repeat back that paragraph.
That's what I'm saying. What
Yeah.
is their language?
Right.
I'll just use their language.
I think we're in agreement on that.
Yeah.
Can we reread that language, the minimum language is one time, what their language is?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It
We've already
doesn't.
voted.
As long as the town manager is clear what he's
Well, he's
signing.
gonna sign something, so we're instructing him what to sign. And he's gonna be...
We've already instructed them to sign.
Yeah, so exactly.
Just not an application, but we didn't say what it was.
Unfortunately, I see that as the same thing.
I agree.
Okay, so it says, the applicant must provide the condition, blah, blah, blah. This includes, but is not limited to, the number of division rights to be retained, amount of development permitted, riparian buffer requirements, historic resource protections, preservation of forest acreage, any allowed or disallowed land use or land management practice or other easement terms. So I can just say that we would limit it to
No, you just say
Two.
that or nothing.
two
Subdivision is possible to no more than 2 parcels, and only public development is permitted.
What's the reasoning behind that?
well,
We talked about that.
the reason, actually, this comes from something that Quinn was telling me about Torrey Smith, that in order to do something with respect to parking, you had to divide it into 2 parcels. So this is what the purpose of dividing it.
Around the stormwater issue. Yeah.
So if you know, I was trying to make it easier down the road when we got to the point where we,
Okay,
All right.
all right?
so yes, those first 3 points then. Yeah. But it's a starting.
Those 3 points, is that what we're going to?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
That'd be good.
I hope they're watching, hope they weren't watching tonight.
Okay. Next on the agenda is resolution number 38-19, Mrs. Colleen Field, as Chief Financial Officer of Rockland Beach. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Second. Mr. Alger. Aye. Mr. Aye. Mr. Lane. Aye. Mr. Surley. Aye. Ms. Schiff.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Welcome, Colin.
Thank you, Colin. Citizen input, we have, Mr. Tripp, sorry to keep you guys so long, I knew it was going to be a long meeting.
Tim Trivet, 3407 Wakefield Street, Long Beach, Virginia. I really hate to even get up here tonight, because I know y'all wore out, and so are we. But I just wanted to say briefly, I was at a forum on Saturday, and our county representative made a statement that Mr. Rasavi was retiring, but he didn't say when that was. And I asked him several times, hoping he would divulge that information, because there was a lot of people in the audience that wanted to know. So maybe you can find out when it's going to be. Just like you heard tonight, though, there's no collaboration at all between the county and the town when the town needs to be involved in things. And I'm referring to whatever this meeting is tomorrow. When it's something that affects the town, there should be a town representative there that knows what's going on. And I say that because when I reviewed the minutes of the county meetings for the last year, I know there was a vote taken on April the 2nd where our representative made a motion that that the sheriff be directed to charge for overtime for events. Now that motion was approved and is in the minutes, and it's effective January 2020. So I think somebody needs to find out whether that's going to go into effect so they can let our business owners know and those that have events coming up next year. Whether that's, I know what they did is not legal. You don't direct a constitutional officer to do anything. And I understand the sheriff had already responded to that, but I just think that it's there, says it was approved. There's nothing that wouldn't prevent the county administrator from going to the sheriff and saying, how many hours did y'all work, and then sending somebody a bill. So I think there needs to be some clarification there about that. It's unfortunate that you can't be like Dominion Power and turn them off out there whenever they don't pay the bill, because I also asked that question. I saw the letter that you sent asking the county to pay up by May the 1st. I asked our representative about that, who said the contract was poorly written, which I just can't see that. They entered into agreement. I don't care if it was verbal or in writing. They owe us the money and they should pay us. But that's how they do everything. I also am concerned about that tower that's going to go out there. If we're going to have to pay somewhere up, I've heard some figures around $1 million to support that tower. What is our county dollars going for that we're paying in taxes? I couldn't get that question answered either, but I just tell you, I think that we need to be having a representative that can find out what's really going on, when it's going on, and not after the fact. So I would ask you to look into some of these things, because the county's costing us money above our taxes. And we should have an answer to that, what our county taxes are being paid for. I did ask that question. I was told the county was paying for this building and paying for the library. That wasn't the answer I was looking for, because I don't think they're paying for this building. They may be paying for the library, but I'm sure it's our taxes that's doing that. I mean, that 65 cents per 100 is going somewhere, and it would be nice to know where it's going. So I would just say the other part of that is that the contingency where they raised our taxes 2 cents, so they could show they had a 15% contingency fund. We need to ensure that our money is not going to W&L and to that new school. Our money should be coming back to this town for our school. Thank you.
Mr. Kern?
At the last meeting, I complained about the condition of the foyer at the last meeting. It still has not been cleaned up. And I ride around on my golf cart around this town, and there was a sailboat tied up for a week and a half at the boat ramp for a week and a half, and I asked a person, and it was broke down for a week and a half, and that's unacceptable. There was not, I ride every day around the point 4 or 5 times a day, and there was not a person working on that sailboat at any time. Not until this weekend when the sailboat was removed. And what's going on with that? You know, why does the town have a sign put up, no overnight parking on that boat ramp? What's going on?
Okay, hang on 1 second, Walter. So, you're absolutely right. And I will tell you that we engaged the owner of the sailboat twice, police officers. And he was broke down, that's what he said. He didn't really believe 100%, but we did not have signage. Signage was ordered, I guess, end of last week. It should be here anytime. But you're absolutely right. We actually contacted the Game and Fisheries and BMRC to help us try to understand the rules. We don't have signage, there are rules, basically, although it is town-owned property. So he promised us he was going to be going Friday.
Yes, he promised first Wednesday. He promised first that Wednesday, then Friday, and then we got him out by Sunday.
Sunday, yep. But you're absolutely right. But signage is going up there that says no overnight mooring, and I'd like to see no more than 20 minutes tied up to it. It's about what it takes to offload your boat and back trailer and back trailer.
Well, I'd like to see all the other items that we got signs up on town enforced as well, and nobody seems to care about that.
You know, I have a question, you know, there's a boat that ties up every weekend.
I've seen it.
And,
yeah.
Well, there's two people. One of them's a marine contractor and another one's a painter. Well, we don't enforce anything. That's in
I'm
the
hoping
nutshell.
that-
We don't, Walter, so.
I'm hoping when the sign goes up that they have the ability to read and that they'll adhere to that first, and then second, if they don't, that they're given a citation.
It's kind of like dogs on the beach, bikes on the boardwalk and all that. Same thing.
Yeah.
We don't enforce that either, don't we?
and I hope the foyer gets cleaned up,
Okay.
within the next couple of days. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Okay. Next on the agenda is no reason for closed session, right?
And by the way,
Yes, sir. That's it.
one more comment.
All right. Hurry up.
Colonial Beach is the largest town in the northern neck.
Yep.
And I'm proud to say that I am Colonial Beach. Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Right.